Hello, welcome to day 10 of the Times BFI 53rd London Film Festival. I'll shortly be speaking to director Jay Blakeson about his film The Disappearance of Alice Creed. So this is your first feature film directing. How did you find it?
It was great, I loved it. I mean, I've been a writer for about like 8-9 years, and so from working in my room on my own for that long to kind of get on a set with great actors and really talented people and just see it all come to life, and mostly they don't get made. It was just fantastic. I enjoyed every single minute of it.
I was just speaking to Eddie and he was saying he imagined you're like working with Quentin Tarantino in terms of you're prepared and
I think I'm not quite as manic as he is, but that's very nice of him to say, because Tarantino's films, they were a big influence on me growing up. And
I was going to say, because this one's been compared a little bit to Reservoir Dogs in terms
I think it's mostly because it's a genre movie with a bit of a twist, but also it's quite a contained film where all the action just happens in this tight space rather than happening kind of against massive Lawrence of Arabia backdrops.
Who else? What other films sort of inspire you? Who else?
Well, we talked a lot about Stanley Kubrick's films, especially like The Shining, and also David Lynch's films. I mean, I love all films, so all films are an influence on me. I mean, I love from Billy Wilder to Tarantino, really. So I'm a real cinephile. So if you see something in film, it just always has to be an inspiration.
And how did you go about casting? Did you have an idea who you wanted, or was it just audition?
We had a very short schedule to cast the whole film, so it was quite a quick process. So we just had to sort of pick people quite quickly. And our casting director mentioned Gemma very early in the process. And when she came, she was the first one to come and read for any part. And as soon as I saw her reading, it was just like, we have to cast her. She was amazing. She was just coming off Prince of Persia, and she's just a fantastic actress. So that was a no-brainer. And Eddie, he's worked with Scorsese, Michael Mann, Terrence Malick, so he's a fantastic actor.
He also said you were like Michael Mann as well.
Did he? All these people with crazy reputations. That's very nice of him. I really love Michael Mann's films.
So where did the idea come from for the story?
Well, I've always been interested in that kind of power dynamic of a kidnapping, because when you kidnap somebody, well, not that I kidnap somebody, but if you kidnap somebody, you sort of take all their power away, and they can't dress themselves or feed themselves or take care of themselves. So at the same time as being like a bad guy who's out for money, who might end up killing this person, you're also their kind of carer, as almost like a nurse or a parent, and it's a very sort of specific sort of crime. That sounded like a really interesting kind of character dynamic, and we started off from that, and I just ran with it. Really. And
there's been a lot in the last year, really, hasn't there, about kind of people kidnapped for loads of years and hidden.
I mean, that all sort of came out since I wrote it. I mean, but it just goes to show you can't make it up. These crazy things happen.
Did that influence the sort of releasing of it at all?
Not at all. No, it's that's all just sort of stuff that happened. I think if it happened right here, it might have influenced something. But because it's in America and it's been in Europe, but I mean, we didn't even really think about that, to be honest. It's kind of very different from our sort of kidnapping. Ours is more down the line ransom rather than locking somebody in a cellar for 20 years.
Is there anything else you've been able to see here at the festival, or are you looking forward to
I've been so busy. I've seen one Iranian film called No One Knows About Persian Cats, which I really enjoyed. That's the only thing I've had time to see, which I really enjoyed that. So go and see it.
And what's next for you?
I'm writing a script for my next one that I hope to make, and reading scripts, and people have been starting sending me scripts after this premiered in Toronto, so it's an exciting time. Everything's sort of happening all at once.
Well, good luck with it all. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Obviously, it's Jay Blakeson's first debut feature film. How did you find him as a director, and maybe his style compared to other directors you work with?
Well, he wrote this film, and he gave himself limitations. He restricted himself to one setting, and he restricted himself to certain plot points, because financially he thought, I want to make a film and know I can get it made. And what that did was it made him because I think if you limit things, sometimes give yourself limitations, you become more creative than if you give yourself too much abundance. So he'd already written a great script, and he was very sure on how he wanted to shoot this movie. He was very well prepared. So I found him as competent. I didn't feel like I was with a first-time director. What I felt like, I was with a director who knew exactly how he wanted to shoot this movie.
And was his style similar to anyone you've worked with before, director-wise?
Actually, the closest I can is Michael Mann, because Jay is very well prepared, and he's a film geek. So in a sense, I mean, I've never worked with Quentin Tarantino, but I kind of think it must be like that, really.
Would you like to work with Quentin Tarantino?
I'd love to work with Quentin Tarantino.
Which particular films do you like?
Quentin Tarantino? Reservoir Dogs is my favourite.
This film actually has been compared in some ways to the drama.
Yeah. Yeah, it has.
Fair comparison?
Yeah, because it's there's violence, but it's not gratuitous, and there's great characters. Reservoir Dogs is full of great characters, as is The Disappearance of Alice Creed.
And what particularly appealed about this role for you?
I just thought it was a fantastic role, really. There's so many aspects of Vic are revealed throughout the film, and they're shocking and they're surprising, but they're logical. They make sense. When aspects of Vic are revealed, you sort of think, oh, I understand now, you know. And that's what's great for an actor. It's when a character has an arc and it's logical and you can follow it through.
And what about the festival? Have you had a chance to see anything else here?
No, I've been working. They've flown me in for one night.
Oh.
I've been in Nova Scotia and Malta filming Moby Dick, so I've come back for one night.
When's that finished?
Well, I finished that in January.
Oh, okay. Cool. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much. Cheers, thank you.
So this is Jay Blakeson's first debut feature film. How did you find him as a director?
He was brilliant. I mean, I don't know whether he was smoking weed or something, that's what I said, but he's ridiculously calm. And for a first-time director, that's amazing. He was never, I mean, we weren't on the tightest, it was really well scheduled, so we were never pushed for time really, but it just never seemed flustered. And that's really, that sort of energy just kind of goes across the whole set. You know, everybody seems they're sort of important, and you've got your time to do what you want. You never felt you had to do something for the sake of doing it. You had time to think about each scene. It was great, and for a lot of writer-directors, sometimes they can get a bit precious, and rightly so, with their own script. But Jay was really, as long as he got what he wanted, he allowed you to express yourself, and that was great. It felt really good to go.
Do you compare his style to anyone else you work with, directional wise?
No, because you probably could, but I think everybody's really individual. Jay's got his he's got his own style, and I like that. And because if he was in his own head thinking he wanted to be like somebody else, he's trying to be something he's not when he's good enough as is. You know, I'm kind of a great believer in that. You have to kind of be yourself and go with it. As long as there's people you admire and people you want to emulate, but at the same time you have to have your own way of doing things and find your own way. And Jay's got his own style. He'll be good as gold.
And what appealed to you about this role?
I say the paycheck, but no, it was a cracking script, and it was a brilliant cast. And when I originally went for it, I didn't want to go for it because I've been planning to do America for a couple of years. And when I was going for it, my agent says, look, there's this one script you should read before you go. And I'm saying, look, I'm not reading it because with the cast and stuff involved, I'm really going to want to do it. And if I don't get it, then I'm going to go to America on a downer. And as soon as I read it, I thought, bastard, I really want to do this. And I just went for it, and I'm just delighted to be involved in it. It says with Gemma's quest for world domination of acting, and Eddie is established as we're probably one of the best we've got at the moment. You know, it was just good to be involved, and I felt I had to bring my A game. You know.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
I never knew what I was going to do on the day. Yeah. It's quite petrifying actually. I know we're going to shoot this scene where this happens. Yeah. How on earth we're going to get there, I don't know, but we did. And it was working with such respectful actors. I didn't worry about anything. I felt completely comfortable going there. Sometimes you worry, but they just allowed me to do my thing. Didn't make me feel awkward at all, and it meant that I can just go for it, and I did. We let rip. We did. We had such fun. It was like complete contradiction. We had so much fun, but that's generally what happens when you do something quite heavy. You have to be able to go and shake it all off and go for a drink and have a party at the end of it, and otherwise you go crazy. And I'm not about that. I like to have fun on my